Hey, what's going on, guys? So about a week ago I created a video on how to create an e-commerce UI drag and drop functionality using React.js, and on this video I decided to create the same UI functionality, but I'm gonna integrate it with Wordpress WooCommerce API. So here's the demo. I have a product which is a regular grouped product on WordPress. I have already WordPress installed, storefront and storefront child theme. So if I'm going to the shop page, I have multiple products here, and if I click on any of these products, they are just a simple product. It's a simple product, and I don't see anything else, on the page. But if I click on meat and veggies, this is a grouped product, and the group product has multiple products assigned to this product. So if I'm going to the dashboard, I will show you. If I'm going to products, I have all these products here, and then I have which is our regular products, and I have a meat and veggies, which is a grouped product, and I have linked products, right? And all these linked products are showing up here. And now here I can drag and drop them, so I can choose which product I want to assign to which day, something like this. And now I can place the order. So for example, the merchandiser or the store owner can ship me these products on all these days. Monday I want to get this, on Tuesday I want to get this, Wednesday this, and so on. And then here I have this place order button, which is in the previous video it didn't work, but now if I click place order, all these products are being added to the cart. Alright, and if I'm going to the cart and I refresh the page, I can see all these products, and I have a day assigned to each of these products. I have the price, also subtotal. I have a price here too, so if I drag and drop products here, the price is updating, like this. Alright, so here I have days assigned to each of these products, and there is proceed to checkout page. I click on that button, and here I have the same data, so I can just fill in all this information and just place the order. So this is what I'm gonna build in this video. I'm gonna have links to each package I'm gonna use for my React.js app. There's also gonna be a link in the description from where you can grab the source code. But I'm also gonna write everything from scratch in case you wanna follow along with me. I'm gonna explain a lot of details, and I'm pretty sure you'll learn a lot of new stuff if you haven't done anything like that before. Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I just want to mention that I'm gonna build a plugin in this video. This is the plugin I have right now on my demo for my demo stuff, so I can deactivate it. If I deactivate it, I don't have any shortcodes or anything like that. And if I refresh this page, like if I just copy and paste access this product, now I'm gonna have all these products, grouped products, but they don't have the UI, they don't have anything. It's just like pure default WordPress functionality here. Add to cart button and everything else. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this plugin. I'm gonna have everything fresh, so let me do that in 1 second. Alright, my plugin is gone. I don't have anything here, and as I said, I have storefront installed and the child theme, storefront child theme. This is how everything looks like. Make sure you may want to have the storefront installed as well, because I'm gonna override some CSS just to take this off. I want to take these off, and I'm gonna add some hooks to take some of this stuff off, so I don't have this image. And so yeah, you may want to follow. If you want to follow along with me, then you definitely want to have this storefront theme installed. Okay, so now I'm going to create my React.js app. Okay, create React app, and I will name it just WooCommerce Weekdays. Okay, so I'm gonna open my folder, which is wc-weekdays, and I'm gonna open my VS Code in this folder. Alright, so first thing I want to do here, I want to create a folder in my source folder. I will name it components, and then here in this components I will create a new file which is going to be main.js, and this is gonna be a class component, so I'm gonna import React and component from React. And also, so I'm just gonna export default main extends component. Oh, here I forgot class. I'm looking like, what the heck, why is that showing up? Okay, and here I'm gonna have render, return, and in the return I'm gonna have just hi. Alright, I will save it, and then I'll open my app.js. I'll get rid of everything I have here importing and everything in my return function, and here I'm actually gonna import the main component from components/main, and then I'm gonna call it here like this. So if I save it, and if I open my terminal here, I'll type in npm start. Just want to make sure, you know, this component gets called. React is defined but never used. Okay, I know why is that. Okay, so if I'm going to localhost, oh, okay, one more thing, guys, I wanted to mention. My WordPress runs on localhost, and I have an HTTPS here. I don't have an SSL active or anything, but WooCommerce API requires you to call the APIs through the SSL. So if you don't have an SSL in your local host, you just type in HTTPS, you know, localhost, and press enter. If you are on Google Chrome, there's gonna be a warning window which is gonna say this website is not secure, and there's gonna be a button which is gonna say advanced. Click on advanced and then proceed unsafe, and then it's gonna let you access the website with an expired SSL, or, you know, and not valid SSL like this. Okay, so here I just want to open localhost, just want to open my React.js app just to make sure everything works fine. Okay, everything works fine. Now here I'm gonna stop my machine and I'm gonna install 3 packages. The first package is going to be the styled components, and then the CSS reset and the beautiful-dnd. So here's sudo. I'm gonna show you in the process of building this app while we are installing these packages for. Okay, so I have sudo npm add styled components. The next one is sudo npm add atlas kit /css -reset. This basically is going to reset all the CSS from my React.js app. And the last one is the most important, which is the React Beautiful drag and drop package. So here I'm gonna have sudo npm install react-beautiful-dnd. Okay, everything is fine. Just wanted to mention one thing. I'm gonna have links for each of these packages in the description, and I want to show you one thing though. This beautiful-dnd, the drag and drop package that I'm using in this app, this link is going to be in the description, but they have this documentation here. So this is the most important thing I want to show you. So this is how this works. There's going to be a main parent component, which is drag drop context, and in this parent we will have a child which is droppable component, and then in this droppable component we will have the draggable component. So the draggable components are the products we just drag and drop them. Okay, so let me start my server. Just want to make sure everything works fine. Okay, everything is fine. Here in the main it's saying that React is not used. I'm gonna use it in the app. Now another file, the next file I want to create is the initial data. That's the state file. So in my components folder I will create a new file, and this is gonna be initial data.js, and this basically is gonna be the state. So I'm gonna have a const initial data. This is going to be an object, and here I'm going to have the API consumer key, the API consumer secret. So I'm going to have consumer underscore key empty for now, consumer secret empty for now. Then I'm going to have is loaded, and it's false. And this is loaded, I'm gonna use it, it's gonna be false until I will get the data from the API. Whenever I'm gonna get the data from the API and I will update the state, this is gonna be true. So whenever this is true, that's when I'm gonna show the React.js app. Okay, and then I'm gonna have another state which is gonna be products, and this is gonna be empty for now. And then I'm gonna have total price. Whoa. Total price is going to be 0 by default, and then I'm going to have products column. This is going to be the place where all the products going to show up, and then from that products column I'm gonna we will take the products and drop them for each day. Products column, Jesus Christ, products column. Okay, and then in this products column I'm gonna have products. This is gonna be another object, and then these products, this is gonna be the column for the products, and then I'm gonna have the ID, which is gonna be products, and then title, the column title, which is gonna be products, and the product IDs. Here I'm gonna have all the product IDs from e-commerce. Okay, below here I'm gonna have days, and then here I'm gonna have first day, Monday, and each day is going to have an ID, which is Monday, and the title, and product IDs. These are the products assigned for each day. Okay, so there's Monday, this is the first one, then I'm gonna have 6 more, so it's gonna be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tuesday, 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 Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and there's one more, just missed it, it's Sunday. Okay, so like this, we have all the days. Now the next one is the days order. days order, that's the order in which the days are gonna show up on the page. So the first one is gonna be Monday, Tuesday. Make sure that these IDs match. You know, Monday matches with this one, Tuesday matches with this one, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I just want to make sure they match. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay. Alright, and then just below I'm gonna export them. Export default initial data. I will save it. This app.js file, I close it because I'm not gonna do anything else there. And now here in my main.js file, I want to import all the packages I installed. So import add Atlas Kit, Atlas Kit CSS reset, and then import styled from styled components, and the last one react-beautiful-dnd. So import, I'm gonna have here drag drop context, and I will also have droppable, and I'm gonna import this from react-beautiful-dnd, and I also want to import now the initial data. So I will have here import initial data from initial data, and now in my class I'm gonna assign this initial data to the state. So I'm gonna have state initial data like this. Okay, now my state is empty, so if I save it, I don't have any errors, anything. Refresh this page. Make sure you have a React extension installed, which is gonna let you, it's gonna add 2 more components here, 2 more tabs in your inspector, which is components. And here I can see the component, my main component, and here I'm able to see the state. So for now my state is empty, I don't have anything. Now I want to call the API from WooCommerce to be able to get all these products and to insert them in my React.js state. So I'm gonna go to WooCommerce first, settings, advanced, REST API, and here I'm gonna add a key. So click add key, description, just add whatever you want. I'm gonna add Vycode media tutorial. Just make sure you choose a user, and the permissions, it needs to be read only, because if you put, because we're gonna put this keys in the UI, and the UI is front end, and then anybody can see them, and you don't want to put here write or read and write, because other people can get them and just change stuff in your website, and you don't want to do that. In this case, choose just read data. So click generate API key, and now let's copy the stuff from here and let's paste it in our state. Initial data, let's go all the way up. Where's the consumer key, and let's paste it here, and then the consumer secret like this, and let's save it. Now let's go back, just make sure it's saved. Yep, so we have all the data here, which is, it's cool. Now let's go ahead and call the API. But before we do that, let me add something in the render and this return function here. Alright, so here I'm gonna have an empty wrapper for now, and I will have a body block like this, and here I'm gonna put just main. Now I'm gonna create this body block using the styled components package I installed. So I'm showing you how to create that. So basically I will have a const, I will name it body block, and I'm assigning styled dot, and I'm choosing what kind of HTML tag I want to create. So I'll put div, and now here I have this backwards apostrophes, which is if you're on Windows, it's the button below the escape button, you know, like this. It's not a regular apostrophe, it's like backwards apostrophes, or I don't know if I'm saying that correct. Okay, so basically here I'm gonna insert some CSS. So this is why I like this package, because it's allowing me to add CSS like this, you know, almost in line, and then, you know, just wrap everything like this. It's easier for me, you know, whenever you have a div class name, blah blah blah, you lose that div closing tag, and it's more user friendly, if I can say like that. Okay, so I have this in place. Just gonna save it. Let's go back and let's see what we've got here. Basically here I have a background color, margin, padding, width, and display table. So this is what I have for now here. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Now I'm gonna just go here above the render function. I'm gonna create a component did mount function, and here's where I'm gonna call the API. So I'm gonna have a fetch, and here's the API URL. This is what I'm gonna call. So I'm gonna call https localhost /wp -json /wc /v2, which is version 2 /product /11, which is the product ID. This is the 11 is the grouped product. So in my case, if I'm going to products, this is grouped product, so the grouped product is ID 11. Alright, so that's why I have 11 here. I'm gonna change it dynamically, of course, whenever I will integrate the app with WooCommerce, but for now I'm just gonna leave it like this. And then I have consumer key, which is this state consumer key from the state, and the consumer secret. So if I copy all this stuff from here, I just want to show you how the data looks like whenever we call this API. So if I paste it here, and consumer key, and okay, so I'm gonna copy it from here, this state consumer key and the secret. Alright, so if I press enter, reload it just to make it pretty, here's the data that I'm getting from WooCommerce. The first, so this is for the ID 11. So there's ID, name, slug, blah blah blah, price, and everything. But what's most important, what I'm looking for here is the grouped products. Here, grouped products. So these grouped products are all the products assigned to this grouped product. And now, having this data, I'm gonna grab these IDs, and I will have, and I will call this API again for each of these products in order to get the price and the image, you know, the thumbnail for each product. Okay, so let's go back now. I have this here. Now below I'm gonna have .then, and here I'm gonna have res.json, and then here I'm gonna have then, and I'm gonna get the main result, which is a ES6 function, and this is basically the parameter main result. And then here I'm gonna have a variable which is going to be API IDs, and I will assign main result the grouped products. These are the grouped products from here, so make sure they match, you don't misspell them. Okay, and then here after I grab them, I want to loop throw them, so I'm gonna have API IDs dot map. So here I'm gonna get the product ID, Alright, have the product ID. I'm gonna have return, and I will return a fetch call API like this. Okay, except where this stuff is here, where the ID here, now I can put the product ID. Let me just make this ID capital letter like this, so I'll paste it in between the pluses. Okay, and then the consumer key and everything else stays the same. And then here we have then, and then is getting the res, which is res means response, res.json. We want the response in the JSON format, that's why we do that. And then I have then, and here I'm getting the result like this. And now I'm getting all the data from the API. So I have const ID, and I assign to this variable result.id. I get the data for each grouped product, for each product from the group products list. So I have const content, which is the image, result.images index 0 dot source. I'm just grabbing the source, and I'm getting the price like this. Alright, having all this data, now I can update the state. And here I'm gonna have a const new prod. So I'm gonna basically, so let me see here, const new prods. Alright, I'm gonna make a clone of this state, and I'm gonna assign to is loaded. So I'll make is loaded true if this object is full. You know, if it's not full, it's gonna be false. So I have object dot keys, and the keys is this state dot products, Victor products, and dot length. Alright, so if this is equal to API IDs dot length, dot length -1, because this is an array, then I assign true, otherwise false. Okay, and then products, I assign to products. Actually, I'm making a clone of this state dot products, and then here I get the ID, product ID. It's gonna be like a object parent, and then here I have this state dot dot products, and then I have the ID index, and then here I have ID, and I get JSON dot stringify the ID, and then content. The content is the content, and then the price is the price, like this. Okay, and then after products I have products column, and here I have this state dot products column, and then here I have products, because that's how the structure goes, you know, products column, products, and then I want to assign the products to the products IDs here. So I have products, and then here this state dot products column dot products, and then here products IDs, and I have main result dot grouped products dot map string. Okay, all right, and semicolons, and then here I just update the state. So I have this set state new prods. Okay, and let's see, new prods, and then here I'm gonna have a comma in case I get an error from the API. So error, and if the error, then I will have set state, and I will say set a state which is loaded, make it false. Okay, like this, and like this. And then I have to have an error catch for the main API call. So here I'm gonna have error, this set state like this is loaded, I'll make it false, and just output this error here. Okay, so let's see what we've got. I'm gonna save it. I'll refresh this page just to see what we have. And if I'm looking at the products, we get all the data here from the products. You see, we get the ID, product ID 15. So this is the image URL for the product 15. This one. And what else? We're getting the products 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for 7 days. And then under days, no, actually under product columns, under products, we have product IDs, and we get the product IDs here 17, 15, which are like 7 as well. Okay, so everything works fine until now. Now the next step is to output all this stuff in the UI here. Okay, so let's go back to our return function, and here we will use the drag drop context now. Drag drop context, we will have okay, let's just do this for now, and then here I'm gonna try to output all the products from the state first. So to do that, I'm going to have another div class kind of thing. I'm gonna create it above it, but now I'm gonna just type it in, which is going to be products block. Okay, and then in this products block, here I'm going to have, actually no, okay, in this products block I'm going to have a title, and the title is going to get, I'll get that from the state, so it's going to be this state dot products column dot products and dot title, like this. And also here below I'm gonna have use the droppable component, the one I imported from the beautiful-dnd. So I'll have droppable, and then this droppable is getting a parameter that's from the documentation by default. I have to have it has it, so it's gonna be droppable ID, and the droppable ID is going to be this state dot product columns, products column dot products dot ID. Okay, and now inside there is going to be a curly brackets. It's going to be a small function, and we get the provided parameter. All right, this is all predefined. This is all from the package. This is not something. It's the way it works. You know, it's like predefined functionality. Okay, so now here, it's not curly brackets here, but it's parentheses like this. And here I'm gonna have a component. It's gonna be actually a product list here. It's gonna be a product list, and this product list is getting few parameters, so there's gonna be a reference. Let me do like this. I will grab the provided dot inner ref like this, and the second one is provided droppable props. So it's going to be curly brackets provided dot droppable props. Okay, and then here I'm supposed to have all the products. All right, so I'm just gonna type in products here. Title is not defined. I'm getting these errors because I didn't create these blocks yet. So there's the products block. So let's go all the way up here, and we will have const products block styled dot div, and I'm just gonna paste the CSS for the sake of time, guys. So it's gonna be a display table, margin 30 pixels on top, auto on the sides and 0 on the bottom, a border radius, min width, background color white, box shadow for multiple browsers here. Okay, and the next one is going to be the title. So here's the const title styled, it's h3 now, it's not div anymore because it's a title, and here I have just the padding. Let's see what else we have. The product list, it's here. So const product list styled, it's a div, and the padding 8 pixels. We just pause the video and just type it in. Okay, so I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna go back. So this is what I'm seeing now, products. Now where's the products? I want to loop through my state and output the products here. And I'm gonna go all the way down where my products are. Actually, first of all, I'm gonna have to create another component for products. So in the components folder, let me create another component, and this is going to be called product. Product.jsx, and in this product.jsx, this is gonna be a class as well, so I'm gonna have to import React and component from React, and I will import the styled from styled components, and I will import the joggable from react-beautiful-dnd, and here I'm gonna have I'm actually going to have a CSS container. So this is how it's gonna look like: const container styled using this style package. Div is gonna be a div, and this is what I have: a border, padding. You know, this is the styling for each product, each individual product. And then I will have export default class product extends component, and then here I have render function, and then return. And in the return function I grabbed the joggable, and there's a joggable ID. The joggable ID is this dot props. I'm gonna send these props from the main file. Dot props dot product dot ID, and then there's gonna be an index. It's a must to have an index. There's gonna be this props dot index. Okay, like this. And then here is gonna be a provided as well. Provided parentheses, and here I have the container, the container I just created here. So this mainly is just like a div class, like this. And then this container is gonna get few attributes. So it's gonna be provided dot joggable props, and another one provided dot jog handle props. Jog handle props, like this. And there's gonna be the last one is the reference. So we have ref provided dot inner ref, like this. And then here in the container we have an image. So we have img tag. This is the product image source, and the source is from the prop. So we have these props dot product dot content. Alt menu style. I'm gonna add an inline style. So there's gonna be width 70 pixels, and I will add the height. The height is going to be 70 pixels. And I'm gonna close it, and I'm gonna put a BR tag, and then below here I'll output the price. So there's gonna be like this $, this dot props dot product dot price. Okay, now I have to call this okay, return is here. Okay, so we'll save it. Now I have to import these products in main.js file. So here I'm gonna have import product from product, and then I will grab the product from here. I'm not gonna go all the way down where we have products like this, and here we will have this product like this. Okay, and then here I'm gonna send the props, which is what we have here, product index. So let's do that here. We will have first of all a key, and the key is going to be, you know what, first of all we have to loop through the state first, and then according to how many products we have in the state, we should call this product component. So this is what we will do here. We have this dot state dot products column, like this, dot products dot product IDs, and then we have map, and here we have we grab the product and we grab the index. Alright, and then this is a ES6 function. And now here's where we put the product. So we have product, and here we have the key, which is the product, and then we have product, and we send this state dot products, and the index is product. And then we also send the index, which is index. Okay, and also very important not to forget, below here, before closing the product list, we have to add the provider.placeholder. It's required to have a placeholder here. Provider.placeholder. Like this. Okay, so let's save it. Expects a return value from row function in main 113 here. Okay, but let's see what we've got first. Okay, so we call the main API, and then we call the child grouped products here. That's the way it looks. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so these curly brackets shouldn't be here. Sorry about that, guys. So let's save it. Let's see what's going on here. We get another error. Cannot read property ID of undefined. Where is it? Product 20. Okay, so there's something going on here. Okay, I think I know what's wrong here. So we have to check for this is loaded parameter from the state, because if this is true, then that's when we have the data, because first time when it loads, when the app is loading, we don't have anything in the state. And it loads the data from the API, and then when the render runs one more time, that's when we have all the data in the state. So now here in the return function, let's add curly brackets and let's check for this state dot is loaded. So if this is true, then we output the body block. Alright, so I'm just gonna put parentheses like this. All this stuff in parentheses. If not, I'm not outputting anything here. So let's save it, let's go back and let's see what happens. And voila, everything works. Okay, so we get all the products from WooCommerce using the API, and everything works fine here. It seems like all this stuff is droppable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now the next step is to add the top side where the weeks, days are, and all that other stuff. And to do that, let's go above the products block here, and here's where we're going to add those blocks. Okay, so we have Droppable Component. Now the block I want to add here is going to be Weekdays Container. So Weekdays Container. Now in this Weekdays Container, we will have a main title like this, and the main title is going to be personalize your order. Like this, and then below here we will have weekdays block. Okay, in the weekdays block we will call another column component, which we didn't create yet, but we will do that in a second. and week blocks. Okay, and then below here we will have another order info. This is where the total price is going to be. So we'll have a p tag, and we'll have total, and here we'll have $, and it's going to be the total price. And we have to define these variables above here in the render. So we will have a let total price, and we assign this state dot total price, like this, and we will update this state in the app. Okay, we have it here. Let's just add some. Let's do just weekdays, just to make sure everything works fine here. And now let's create this these blocks we have here. We have the Weekdays container. Whoops. So let's go all the way up. Let's add it here. So I'm gonna copy it and paste it. So we have const Weekdays container, and this is the styled div. And here I have display, table, margin, 20 pixels, blah blah blah, width, max width, background color white, border radius 5 pixels, and then box shadow. Alright, just pause the video and just copy it, guys, because it's taking too long for me to write everything in the CSS. Okay, the next block is main title. And let's go and add the main title here. So we have const main title styled, it's an h3 tag, and we have text align center, padding 20 and 0, font size 25 pixel, border radius 1 pixel solid, actually border bottom 1 pixel solid, DDD, text transform uppercase, and then margin. And which one else is left? This one, weekdays block. Weekdays block. Let's add this as well. So we have weekdays block. It's also a div class. It has a display flex direction row, and justify content center. Okay, so there is also order info. Order info. Let's go all the way up. So we have order info styled div, border top, padding, font weight, bold, font size 16 pixel, and then text align right. It's gonna be to the right. So if I save it now, and if I'm going back to my app, this is what I'm seeing here. Personalize your order. We have weekdays here. We should have the weekdays. We have the total amount of money, which is 0 by default. That's from the state. And we have all these products here, except we can't drop these products here. So let's make that happen. Now let's go down all the way to the weekdays. So here we will have to call another component. So let's create another file in the components folder, and this file is going to be column.jsx. JSX, like this. And then this column.jsx is going to be similar to the product. So I'm gonna copy everything from here, everything that import there, and paste it here. Another more thing I'm going to import is the product. Like this. Here I'm gonna have some CSS classes. So I have a const container, margin 8 pixels, border radius, width. There's gonna be a title and the product list. Alright, and then here I'm gonna have export default class column. This is gonna be, the columns are the days, so each day is gonna be a column. Extends component. And then here I have render, return, like this. And here I'm gonna have the container, and in the container I have the title, and the title is going to be it's gonna come from the props. So let's just let's go back now to let's just put a small title here. I don't know, just day for now, and I'm gonna save it. And now in main.js file I'm gonna import it. So here I'm gonna have a column from column JSX here, and I'm going down all the way to where I have the weekdays, and here's where I'm gonna call this this column. I'm gonna call it with props and everything. So first of all, I'm gonna have to loop through days order just to output them in order. So if you look at the initial data, we have this days order. This is the order in which I'm gonna output these columns, these days. Okay, so I'm gonna have this dot state dot days order dot map, and I'm getting the day ID here. Let's see, I'm supposed to get day ID, so I have day ID. Okay, and here I'm gonna have a const day, so the day is going to be this state dot days day ID. Oops, day ID. Okay, day ID, this is the index, and I'm also getting the products. It's going to be day dot product IDs dot map. So I'm gonna map through the products. I'm gonna get the product ID, and then this dot state dot products, and the index is product ID, like this. And then below here I'm just gonna have a return, and I will call this column component column key, and the key is day.id, and the day is gonna be day, and then products, and that's it. That's it for this return. So if I save it, I'm not getting any error, but if I'm going back, I see that I have these columns here, day. Now let's go back to the column, and where I have day, I sent here all this data using these props. Now I can use the props and output the data properly, display it in this component. So where the day is, I'm gonna put this props dot day dot title. So now we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, blah blah blah. Next is the droppable component. So we have droppable. Now the droppable is, of course, has a reference, has like always. So we have ref, and we assign provided dot inner ref, like this. And then we have, you know what, actually so we have droppable. We don't need all this stuff, guys, sorry about that. We have the droppable, we have title, droppable, and here we have the droppable ID. Droppable ID is coming from this props day ID. So we have this props dot they dot ID. Okay, now in this droppable we have the provided and in the provided here and now here in the provided we will have the product list, and in this product list we will have the ref. So here we have ref provided inner ref, like this, and then we have provided dot droppable props, like this. And now in this product list we have, this is the product list from here, we just have a padding 8 pixels. And then here we call our product component according to the product's props. So we have this dot props dot products dot map, and then here we grab the product and the index. All right, and this is a function, so we have it. And now here we call the product, this is the product component, and here we have the so here we will have a few props that we send to the product component. We have the key, product.id, and then we have the product, and then we have the index. Okay, and then below here we have the placeholder, provided dot placeholder. Alright, product list, droppable, closing, all this stuff. And now we save it. We get the product is not defined in the column 31. Product is not defined. Key, this, okay, so it needs to be product. I misspelled this one from here. Oops. Okay, like this. So let's save it. Joggable is defined but never used. Droppable, joggable. Let's get rid of it. Alright, let's go back. So refresh the page and let's see if we can. Yep, it works. It doesn't stick to it yet because we have to build the functionality for that. But until now everything works fine. So now we can close this file, we can close the product file, we can also let's leave this for now, we'll just take a look at that. But now we go back to the main.js file, and here we have to add some more functionality at the drag and drop context. Here the drag and drop context, whenever we drop a product, so I grab it and I drop it here. Whenever I drop it, I want to call a function which is gonna stick it to the specific column. So in order to do that, I have to add an event here which is going to be on drag end, and here I'm gonna call a method which is I'm gonna have to create it, which is going to be named on drag end, like this. And you want to use the same name because I think this is something predefined by this droppable component package. And I'm gonna add that below, right above the render. So let's see, we will have just like this. We will grab the result, and here we will have const. We will check destination. and source and joggable ID from the result. Okay, and then here we will check. It's gonna be a small validation if it's different than destination, or if destination dot droppable ID it's equal to products, then we return nothing. Alright, and then another if statement. So here we will have if destination dot droppable, the droppable ID equals to source dot droppable ID, and if destination index equals to source index, then in this case we will return nothing. And then if it passes all this validation, now we will start to assign the data to our variable. So we will have a const start variable, and we will assign the source dot droppable ID equals to products. So if the source droppable ID it's equals to products, products, which is this products is the ID, the column ID. Alright, so if it equals to that, then we assign this state dot products column, and the index is source dot droppable ID. Otherwise, we assign this state dot days, and the index is source dot droppable ID. And then we have another const finish, and we assign this dot state dot days, and the index is destination dot droppable ID. Alright, and then here we move from one list to another. Just add the functionality to move from one column to another. Okay, and here we will have a const start product ID, actually IDs, and we assign an array from so not forget the semicolons, an array from. So we have if the source droppable ID equals products, droppable ID equals products, then we assign the start dot product IDs. If not, we assign the start dot product IDs. So either way we assign the same thing. I think but let's just leave it like that, because this is supposed to work. In either ways we assign start product IDs and start product IDs. Yeah, let's just leave it like this. Okay, and then we have start product IDs with splice source dot index 1, and then we assign all this to a new start variable. So we have by saying splicing, we just whenever we let me go back. So I'm taking this product from here, right, and I drop it here. Whenever I drop it here, I want to remove it from this list as well. Alright, that's what I'm doing here now. So whenever I'm moving it from one column to another one, I want to splice it. And then I'm gonna have a const, which is going to be new start. Start here. I will have product IDs. And I will assign the start product IDs. Like this. And then there's gonna be the next one is const finish product IDs. Product IDs array from finish dot product IDs. Like this. And then finish product IDs dot splice, and here I get the remove that from the destination. So destination dot index 0 joggable ID, and then we have const new finish, and we assign this object, which is finish product IDs, and we assign the finish product IDs like this. And now here, after we splice it from the UI, I want to also splice it from the components. I want to remove it from the components, from the state. Sorry about that, guys. I should probably take a break already because I feel like I'm talking. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Jeez. Which is true. I'm just talking to myself now because yes, I'm recording the video. Okay, so let's leave a comment here, removing the item from product state. So here we will have an if statement, if source dot droppable ID equals products. Then I'm assigning all this data to a few variables here. So I have const new product new PID IDs, actually it's plural, this state dot product columns products columns dot products dot product IDs. Okay, and then I have another one, prod remove the joggable ID. I assign the joggable ID to that. And then I have another one, remove index rem index, and I assign to this variable new PIDs dot index of prod remove. Okay, so now I'm removing this product from there. Index of prod remove. I'm grabbing now this the index of the product that needs to be removed, and now I'm gonna remove it here. So I'm gonna have new PIDs. This one here actually, let's make it ID capital letters. Alright, here as well, a new PIDs, and then here I have splice and rem index 1. Okay, so this is in place. Now here we will update the total price. Okay, there is an error here, so I'm just gonna go over one more time here. Okay, where we start? So where's droppable ID? It needs to be a droppable ID. So here needs to be joggable ID. Now if is different than destination, then we have destination dot droppable droppable ID, which is fine. And then if destination droppable ID and destination index blah blah blah, everything is fine here. Source droppable ID, this state product source droppable ID and droppable ID, and then below here we have source moving from one column. Droppable ID needs to be droppable ID here. So if this is equal to product IDs, okay, start product IDs, we splice source index, new start product. Okay, everything is fine here. Now const finish product IDs, array from finish product IDs. Now here needs to be joggable ID finish, because we get the droppable ID, we're moving the joggable ID. We get finish product IDs. Now here removing a item from product state, so we get products. If it's equal to the products, const new ID. Okay, this needs to be remove joggable ID, yes, and remove that, new, remove this. Okay, everything is fine here. Total price. Okay, we have source droppable. If this is equal to products, this state product, this needs to be joggable, price 0, new state, we get this, blah 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 blah. Okay, so let's save it. Let's go back and let's see. Yep, everything works fine. Let's make sure we don't have any errors in the console. Alright. Okay, everything works fine. Now whenever I drop the last product, I want to replace this with a button. So to do that, I should go all the way to the render function, and here in the render function above the total price, I am going to add, or just below is fine too. I'm gonna have a const, and this const is going to be order done, and I'm gonna assign to this order done this state. This is an if statement right now. I'm gonna assign true or false depending on the product ID's length from the products column. So I have this state products column dot products dot product IDs dot length. So if this is different than 0, I assign true, otherwise false. Now having this order done, I can use it. I have this here is loaded. I'm going to go all the way down here where the products block is, and I'm gonna have curly brackets. I will put this here. So if this is true, then I'm gonna output this stuff. Just put them in the parentheses. Otherwise, I'm going to output a different block here. I'm gonna have place order, and I'm gonna have to create this. So I'm gonna be place order, and here I'm gonna have place order button. Okay, let me just have it like this. Place order, and just close this like this. Okay, place order. I have to create this place order button. So let me go all the way up here. I'm gonna paste it. So place order, this is a div class, you know, display table, margin, padding, width, just a button. This is just a button here. And I'm gonna go back now. So I will save it. Okay, so there's an error, unexpected token. 225. It doesn't like here. Okay, order done. Order this state product columns length. Okay, I shouldn't put too many equals there. So if I'm going back now and arrange all these products here, okay, this that block has been replaced with a place order, which is nice, but this place order is not clickable because whenever I click on it, I want to send the data to an API. So basically, to send the data to WordPress and WordPress to be able to parse it, I have to send it to let's say, for example, in the following way. It needs to be localhost. I mean, let's do it here, localhost, and here I have to have add to cart. Needs to be add to cart. This is the way I built it in the backend. Add to cart equal, and then there's gonna be the product ID, let's say 15, and then there's gonna be the day, which is gonna be Monday, for example. This is gonna be the first product, the first joggable product, and then it's gonna be and I'm gonna have let's say 25, and the 25 was chosen for Tuesday, for example, and so on for all the products. All right, so I have to generate this kind of URL now for this URL button here, and to do that I have to create another component, and this component is going to be called place order button. So in the components I'll create a new file, and this is going to be place order button.jsx, and then here it's just going to be a functional component, so it's going to be a const place order button, and I will have props here. All right, and here I'm gonna have let URL, and I will assign just add to cart equals, and that's it for now. And then I will have object. I'm gonna loop through my props. But before I do that, let me just export default place order button like this. And now in my main file I'm gonna import it here. Import this from place order like this. Okay, and then I will copy this component, and I'm gonna go down all the way down to the button where I have this one, place order, and then here I will use this component here like this. And using this component here, I will send a few parameters, props. I mean, no parameters, but the props are going to be vase, and I will send the days from the state. So I have this state dot days, because all these days are having now all the API, the IDs for all the products. Okay, so if I save it now, I'm going back here. Here now I should loop through the days, so I'm gonna have object dot keys, and the key is gonna be props dot days, and here I have map, and I get the day, and then here I'm going to return, so I have return props dot days, and the index is day, and I have props, actually props days, and here product IDs, because if I'm looking at the state, I have the day, day ID, and then product ID. So each of these days they have IDs assigned to them. Okay, so I get props days day product IDs dot map, because if one day has multiple products assigned to it, so I'm grabbing the ID like this, and let's see, so I return see, here is a little bit tricky because I have to check the length of it too. So what I'm gonna do is, let me put this down here, and where the return is I'm gonna check. So I'll put if props dot days of the day dot product IDs dot length is greater than 0. So if this is greater than 0, okay, we do this props days array, we return this ID, and then here we have URL, and we assign to the URL plus ID plus day plus comma. Just separate them. Actually here it's not and, but it's comma. Where is this? This is not and, but needs to be comma like this. And sorry about that, guys. Okay, so it's comma, and then below here return URL. Alright, and then here where we have our if statement, we will have otherwise we return nothing. We don't assign anything to the URL. Okay, and then here we will have return, the component return now, and here we have href, and the href is the URL dot slice, and we removed the last comma because last comma throws an error. So we have slice 0, comma -1. Alright, close, and here we will put place order, and I'm gonna add a style here, inline styling. I'll just add the color white, okay, this like that, and I will save it. And now if I'm going back to my app, I'm gonna refresh it, check the console, everything is fine. So if I drag and drop all these products here now, I get this button with the URL. So if I inspect it, I see that I have add to cart 17 Monday, 24th product assigned to Tuesday, 15 product assigned to Wednesday, 27 to Thursday, and so on for the whole week. So this is what I want. This is definitely what I want to have. Okay, that means that I'm done with this button. Now there's one more thing I want to do. If you see here, if I refresh this page for a second, it shows white, but I want to put a spinner here because it doesn't show up the app until I'm not getting the result from WooCommerce. So while I'm waiting for a result, I want to have a spinner. Now if you go to my GitHub, if you go to the source code repository that I'm gonna post in the description, if you go to the source and assets, you will see a spinner GIF image. So I'm gonna download this image. I will save it in this, go to example. I'm going to my app right now. This is app, source, and here I'm gonna create a new file, a folder, assets, and I will paste it here. Right, I will close this, and let me open this. So I have these assets here. Now I'm gonna import this image. This is a GIF image, so I'll say import spinner from, and I have to go one step backwards. So here I'm gonna have the spinner dot gif. Okay, and then I'll copy it, and I'm gonna go down all the way. So here where I don't return anything if I didn't get result or didn't get anything, you know, like where is this is loaded. Okay, so here I'm gonna put img source. I don't need actually this source is gonna be spinner, and there's gonna be a style. So I'm gonna add an inline style here. So the inline style is gonna look something like this. Width 100 pixel, and then display table, and then I'm gonna have margin. Margin is gonna be 0 and auto, just so I'm gonna center it. I want it to be centered. And then I have an alt tag, which is gonna be spinner. Okay, I'm gonna save it now. So if I'm going back here, I see this spinner spinning here, and while waiting for the data from the API. Okay, so I have this done here. Now what I need to do, like the UI app, React.js, it's done. Now I'm gonna stop my machine, and I'm gonna run here sudo npm run build. And this is gonna create me a new folder here, which is gonna be build, and I'm gonna have all the files minified and everything I need to kind of like integrate my app with WooCommerce. Here's everything I need. Now I'm going to create the WordPress plugin, and to create the WordPress plugin I have to go to my, let's do my PC. I'm gonna go XAMPP, htdocs, WordPress content, plugins, and I'm gonna create a folder, and this folder is gonna be wc-week. Okay, and I'm not gonna do anything here. I'm actually gonna create here a new file, but okay, let me just open this one. So I'm gonna go to that folder, I'm gonna open the VS Code in this folder now. Like this, and here I'm gonna create a new file. This is gonna be index.php, and basically WordPress needs to read. So if you probably already know how this works, but WordPress needs a comment first to detect which is the main file of the plugin, and in this comment is usually plugin name, description, plugin URL, author, and version. And then below here I'm gonna have a another don't access this file directly, which is defined ABS security. And now let me just save it, and I'm going to the dashboard and I will activate it. So if I'm going here, I'm going to plugins, I'm gonna see this plugin here, which is WooCommerce Weekly Products. I'll click activate. Alright, and now if I'm going here, refresh this page, I don't have anything yet here, but I'm gonna add in a second. Because first of all, I want to remove the quantity from all the products. And here's the snippet to remove all the quantities. Add filter, and the filter is WooCommerce is sold individually, and this is the function I'm adding, which is WooCommerce remove all quantities fields. And you know, the function is this one, and return and product. This is how many parameters is getting the function, and then return true. So I removed that. Now if I save it and go back here, the quantity disappeared, and instead of quantity I have this check mark. Okay, next step is to remove the sidebar. I want to remove this sidebar from here. I want to have a full width for all the products. So to remove that, I'm gonna use this snippet, okay, from here. So I'll have a function. I'm actually add a filter to is active sidebar, and I call this function from here. This function is getting 2 arguments, and it's active sidebar and index. So if it's different than if this sidebar one is different than the index, then return is active sidebar. If it's different than this product, return is active sidebar. So this is gonna deactivate the sidebar. So I'm going back and refresh. The sidebar disappeared. Okay, the next step is to I want to output my React app. So I want to output this. I'm gonna close them. I want to output this UI on the grouped products only this kind of products here. If I'm open another product, I don't want to have it here. Okay, so in order for me to do that, I'm going to have to create I'm gonna add another filter. So this is the snippet here, display React app on grouped products only. I'm sorry guys that I'm just pasting it. It's just for the sake of time, because this is kind of like more basic stuff. So here I'm gonna add a filter, which is WooCommerce single product summary, and this is the function I'm calling. So here I'm grabbing the data as a global variable from the post. This is the current post, and if function exists get product, then I assign the get product, I assign it to the product here. I would actually say, let's use here, instead of get product, let's use get WooCommerce get product, because this get product is deprecated. I should do that before. Okay, so if product is type grouped, then I add another action to the WooCommerce after single product summary. I add the Vycode React app. So I have to create this function now, like this. And this function, basically here I'm gonna grab the global post data, and then here I'm gonna have a assets media URL. I'm gonna do that later, but I'm gonna have an echo, though I don't want to confuse you too much, guys. Okay, echo, and here I'm gonna have a style tag, and here I want to remove the related art posts and all these tabs here, and everything. So I just inspected them, and I picked the classes that I want to display none. And these classes are the following. I have here related class and WooCommerce product gallery, entry summary, and WooCommerce tabs. So I put display none. So if I'm going back now and if I refresh the page, I don't have anything here, pretty much. Okay, so I have this here. Now I want to go to my app. So I'm going back htdocs. This is my app. Open the build, and I'm gonna copy this static folder. First of all, I'm gonna open index.html. I will open it in the same one here, like this. I'm gonna copy the static folder, and I'm going back to my plugin folder, and I will paste this static folder here. Now I'm gonna copy everything from index.html file from my app, and I'm going to go to unminify.com, and I will paste this code here. I just want to unminify it. Go back to index.html and paste it here, unminify it. So from this React.js app index, I want to grab the CSS files. I'm gonna grab them from here, and I will paste them here like this. Now I want to add my plugins URL, so in order to do that I have to concatenate the URL. So I'm gonna have like this, apostrophe and then dot, concatenation. After this, I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna grab everything from the body, like starting from no script tag, and copy everything to the closing body tag. I'm gonna copy everything and I'm gonna paste it here like this. Now I want to do the same thing for my JavaScript URLs here. So I'm gonna copy this one, paste it like this, boom and boom. So in this way I call these files from the static folder I just pasted in my plugin. Okay, having this in place, let me save it, and I'm gonna go back just to see what errors I'm gonna see in the console so I can fix them. So if I refresh the page, I have that spinner. The spinner is not working, but the app is already working, so I have to fix this spinner issue. Also, I want to change the ID, because if you remember from my React app, my ID was hard-coded. So I have to change that. So in order for me to change that, I should go all the way up here. First of all, I want to fix the spinner error because it doesn't find this. This is a wrong URL to the spinner. And I'm gonna actually create a variable right below here. I'm gonna create a variable like this, assets media URL, and I will assign trim str replace, and I will replace this URL from the URL from the plugin dir URL. I will remove this. I'll leave it empty, just because React is already adding this URL to the images. Alright, and then I'm gonna have two more variables in the script tag here. I'm gonna paste them here. So the first one is going to be, don't put the $, asset media URL, and I will assign it like this. I'm assigning all this stuff from there, and then I got another variable is going to be product parent ID. And the product parent ID is going to be the post ID, the current post ID. So I'm gonna do the concatenation post ID like this. Post ID. Okay, so I'm gonna save this, And now I'm gonna open my plugins folder. Actually, here in the static, go to JS and just make this longer. And now I'm gonna open the main.hash hash code, whatever you have here. You should have something different here. I'm gonna open this one and I'm gonna look for the number 11, because 11 is the parent ID. So here's what I found. This is the API URL. So instead of 11 here, I am going to do the following. I will remove that. I will do this plus plus, and here I'm gonna paste this variable product parent ID like this. Alright, and also I want to look for media URL, because if I'm looking here on the console, it needs something with media. So if I look for media, I found it here. Here we go. And now where is this p tag? I'm gonna add media URL like this, and then plus. Now I'll save it. Now I'll go back and I'll refresh this page, and the spinner, it's still not working. Okay, that's because it's HTTPS. This must be HTTPS here. This needs to be HTTPS because I'm using the HTTPS protocol. So if I refresh it now, I see the spinning is working. Everything is working. I don't see any errors in the console. Okay, everything is fine till now. Okay, this app, let me just drag and drop stuff. I see that everything is working fine. I have this order, place order. If I click here, nothing happens because I don't have the functionality which is gonna handle the data from the get method and to add it to the cart. So I'm gonna close this file. Sorry for this sound, guys, if it was too loud. I know sometimes it's so loud and I hate it. Okay, now here below I'm going to have I'm gonna create another filter. Here is where I'm going to handle everything. So for example, whenever I click on that place order button, I want to read this URL and grab all the data from here and add it to the database. So if I'm going to localhost phpMyAdmin test database, I'm going to post meta. I want to save that data here, and then from here to output it on my cart page whenever I'm gonna add these products to the cart. So to do that, I'm gonna use a filter. This filter is gonna fire before the WooCommerce from handler add to cart action is called. This is an action. Wordpress loaded, and I have to create this function now. So I'm gonna have here function, and let's see, and here it's gonna get URL and it's gonna be false like this. Okay, so first of all, it's gonna be a small validation here. Make sure WooCommerce is installed and add to cart query argument exists and contains at least one comma. This is all it does. So I'm just gonna go all the way like this. You just pause it whenever you need to pause and to copy everything from here. Okay, next is to remove WooCommerce hook as it's useless. So I'm gonna remove it here like this. I'll remove WordPress on handler. Okay, because I'm gonna customize it now. So and then now here I'm gonna get the product ID. So product ID is explode. You know, now here I loop through my request, add to cart request, and I kind of like I split everything, separate everything with the comma. Everything that's separated with a comma, I just split all the content. And the count, get the count from the product ID, and the number is 0 for now. Number I'm gonna use it later on. And now I'm gonna have a for each, and I will loop through these product IDs. So you know what, guys, I'm just gonna copy this for each loop. It's a long one, and I really apologize for pasting this. You can get it from the source code or whatever, but it's a lot. I'll try to go over everything. So we loop through our IDs, the ones that were separated with comma, and we get ID as quantity. Now here we just separate by these two dots, we separate them, and ID and quantity. And the product ID, we get the ID and quantity from index 0, which we get only the product ID, current product ID. Now adding to cart, we get the ID, the product data using this ID we have from the URL, and then request quantity. If it's different than empty ID and quantity, then we abs int, which means the ID, make it integer and assign it to the request. If not, just assign 1. Below here we check if the number increased is equal to count, then okay, final item, let's send it back to WooCommerce add to cart action method for handling. Alright, so we assign to request add to cart product ID, saving. Now here we're saving the weekday in the database. Alright, we have adding to cart, we update metadata, weekday, sanitized text, ID, and quantity. So basically here we're grabbing the data, this data after the ID, and we insert it in the database as a post meta. Okay, and then after that we save it, and then we assign to the weekday, we get meta of the weekday, which is the day, which is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever. And then we assign it to the session weekday, because after that I'm gonna use it below here. And then we return the add to cart action URL. And then here I assign to the product ID the filter, apply filter WooCommerce add to cart product ID. The ID is here. Was added to cart is false. Not even using this anywhere. I should probably comment this out. And then I have saving weekday in the database. I'm doing this again here just because the last item is not running in the loop here, in the for each loop. That's why I made this if statement here. This if statement is running only for the last item. So what I have here for the last item, I should have for the previous items too. You know, just save it and update the post meta. Weekday, adding to cart, and assign it to the session. And then apply filter, insert cart, and I have to create this insert cart function. Also there's missing one function here below. If you see add to cart handler, I have to create the add to cart handler grouped product, so I have to create this function woohack invoke private method. So this function it's here. Alright, the class name, get the class name and the method name, and basically this needs to be working. I check here if the PHP version is above 5.3. If it's not, PHP version doesn't support this stuff. And get arguments to the arguments, unset arguments here, reflection, assign a new reflection class, and then I assign to the method the reflection get method, which is in my case this is add to cart handler simple, and then I set accessible, make it accessible to true, arguments now I assign the reflection and the arguments, just merge them together. So make just one array and assign it to the arguments here. And then I just return call user function array, method, invoke, and with all the arguments. And here below I want to add the insert cart. So now here is where I add the data to the cart now, and that function is simple function. It's here. So insert cart. Here I have 4 parameters, so I have 4 here. And I assign to cart item data weekday. I assign the data from the session because here I assigned it in the session weekday, each weekday. And after that I just return it. And also there's another function, field to cart. Let me see. Insert cart. Okay, so I assigned this to the cart item. Now I want to output this one. So in order to display it on the page, I have to use another add a filter, WooCommerce get item data. So this is Vycode field to cart, 2 parameters, item data and cart item data. And then I assign to the item data an array with the day. Alright, this is for the languages like the domain. You can put whatever you want here. And then the value, which is WooCommerce clean cart item data weekday. So this is showing on the cart page. Now if I save it, and if I go back here, I'll refresh the page of this product, put everything here. The cart is empty, place order. All these products are being added to the cart, and I have the cart is here. So if I'm going to the cart page and refresh the page, I can see all the products, and each product has a day name. The one, this is for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So this is the URL, the way it looks like. You can refresh, you can even redirect after this URL. You can redirect the user to the cart page or checkout page, or do whatever you would like to do. So that's kind of it, guys. I know it's a long video, but if you like it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for my channel, and I will see you in the next video.